2 weeks ago, I shared an episode on the concept of drowsy but awake. I explained how teaching your infant to go to sleep after being put down drowsy but awake can be the key to unlocking longer naps, longer stretches of sleep at night, and ultimately those full 11 to 12-hour nights. It's episode 65, so if you haven't listened to it yet, pop on over to that episode, take a listen, and then come back here. But after listening to the episode, I had many parents reach out to me and say they've tried drowsy but awake, but their baby seems to really wake up or start to cry immediately when their body hits the mattress. So today we're going to do a little drowsy but awake troubleshooting. Hi, I'm Allison Egidi, a pediatric sleep and wellness coach and a mom of two. I love to help parents find solutions. This is How Long Till Bedtime. Does your baby act like the mattress of their crib or their bassinet is hot lava? The second you put them down, drowsy but awake, they suddenly become very alert or they start to cry. I want to talk about the two most common reasons I see this happening with newborns. The first reason is because the baby is being put down a little bit too drowsy. Going in the crib super duper drowsy can be effective for some babies, particularly when they are under 12 weeks old. But for many babies, when they are too close to being asleep, as you transfer them or they hit that mattress, they get startled and they're in a much more alert state. This is very often the case once your baby passes that 12-week mark because they're becoming more and more alert. So even if putting your baby down really drowsy or fairly drowsy was initially working, don't be surprised if it suddenly starts to feel harder or you're meeting resistance as your baby passes that 12-week mark. So let me start by explaining why going down too drowsy can be an issue for some babies. If you're putting your little one in the crib really drowsy, they may actually be in that in-between state of being awake and being asleep. That's what I would classify as too drowsy. So I try to help parents understand what that might feel like to their baby. Have you ever started to doze off while you're watching TV? You kind of enter this in-between state. You may start to feel like you're entering a dream, but you're still hearing the words being said on the TV. So you're kind of in between the two states. That's the kind of in-between state that I'm referring to when I say too drowsy. So think back to that state you've probably experienced. You're in that in between, you're hearing the TV, but you're definitely not awake watching the TV. And then suddenly something wakes you up and brings you out of that state. It can feel really jarring and it can bring you to a more alert state where you're like, whoa, that was weird. And that may be what your little one is experiencing when they're comfy in your arms, beginning to drift off towards sleep, and then boom, they're brought back to an alert state as you put them down or as their body touches that cooler mattress. So if this is what you're experiencing with your baby, that look from them or response of like, oh, I just really woke them up, the very first thing I want you to do is switch your approach and move away from putting your baby down drowsy but awake and think about putting them down relaxed and awake. So what would that look like in practice? A simple way to approach it would be to go through your bedtime or nap routine that's going to help your little one wind down. I often recommend thinking about doing that in a quiet, dimly lit room. And then after you've, changed their diaper, put them in their swaddle, go ahead and sing your baby a short song. And while you're singing that short song, I don't know, let's say Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star, you can rock them as you're walking towards the crib or bassinet or standing next to the crib or bassinet. And then when you're done with that one song, go ahead and put your little one in the crib, even if they seem pretty darn awake. Ideally, you want to be putting them down when they're relaxed, but not even close to being asleep. And if you do that, you will not feel like I woke them up when I put them down. We definitely don't want that sensation or for you to feel like, oh, I woke them up when I put them down. If you're getting that, they're probably going down too drowsy. If you're just getting started or you're starting again after many frustrating attempts of doing Drowsy but awake, try to remember to stay relaxed during this routine and have just a soft smile or a soft expression on your face. This might sound a little woo-woo-y, but I want you to believe that your baby can do this. That's the energy that we want to project onto them. And don't feel like you need to put your baby down and run right out of their room. Go ahead and put them down and then hang out next to the crib or bassinet as your little one starts to get the hang of winding down and closing their eyes while they're laying in the crib or bassinet rather than your arms. If you're already putting your baby down relaxed rather than drowsy and they're still getting upset, there is a good chance that they are going down a bit overtired. So this is the second reason I often see babies struggling with learning to go down drowsy but awake or relaxed but awake. So if this is what you're experiencing, try shortening the wake window by 5, 10, 15 minutes. Oftentimes we aren't terribly far off. We might be just a little bit off. And that makes it so our baby feels a little overtired and it feels a little more daunting to try to put themselves to sleep when they're overtired. I mean, I think we can all relate to this. It is hard to learn a new skill if you're overtired. So we want to try to catch them before they hit that state. So shift that wake time a little bit, shorten it, and see if that will help them go down more content. And most importantly, remember that patience is a must and we are just practicing. We have to think about every attempt as a practice, and we have to have patience to help our baby learn or even possibly relearn this new skill. If you've been trying to teach your baby to fall asleep independently and it hasn't been going well, I really hope these small little tweaks help you. Shoot me a DM on Instagram at Sleep and Wellness Coach and let me know how it's going. That's what prompted me to do this troubleshooting session. And if you have a baby who is 12 weeks or younger and you'd like some more advice that's tailored to your baby and how they're responding to things, check out my Have Baby Need Sleep program, where I offer weekly support that allows me to troubleshoot with you every single week until your baby reaches 20 weeks. You can find more about this program at www.allisonegidi.com/SWC-HBNS. We'll put the links in the show notes, and you can, of course, always send us a message and we'll send it to you. Cheers to giving our babies the gift of sleep, particularly independent sleep. As always, thanks for listening, and please consider sharing this episode with a friend who might benefit from this advice. Bye for now. Thank you for listening to How Long Till Bedtime. To learn how we can work together to improve your child's sleep, please visit sleepandwellnesscoach.com.